if the building was damaged beyond 60%, then a conforming use would have to replace it under the low-density residential district. So you can see the site's kind of entirely paved. There's just a few bit of grassy area to the north and east. So like I said, it's been a race car automotive repair shop, and that's that legal non-conforming use. The petitioners are requesting to rezone it and utilize the property for a property maintenance facility. They own a few rentals in the nearby area, and they want to store their lawn care and snow removal equipment inside the building and use it on the properties they own nearby. A couple site photos. This is looking east along Northeast 72nd Avenue. You can see that paving there, and this is the front of that building on the subject property. This is looking west along Northeast 72nd Avenue. See the residential area, and then the city of Ankeny is kind of right there where 72nd Avenue dead ends. It's over here as well. On this property here is within the city of Ankeny. This is looking straight on. You can see the properties in a little bit of disrepair, and the site probably needs some repair to come into conforming with the county. And then lastly, yeah, a little bit more of that east side of the building there. So if the rezoning is approved, the petitioners would be required to, before they can, establish their business, complete a few site improvements. They completed this rendering to show what that could possibly look like if the rezoning is approved and they complete the site improvements. Some of this would not all be required as far as upgrading the building and things like that, but they would have to create more open space on site. So the public hearing for the zoning commission was held on Monday, April 22nd. Staff is ultimately recommending denial. We couldn't quite get there with this one with, we pushed them to get the property to the east. That's also a future land use designation of neighborhood commercial, to maybe get them on board with the rezoning, and that's possibly where staff could come in and recommend approval. But in this case, it's just kind of that spot rezoning. It conflicts with the future land use map for this site as it is neighborhood commercial, and the surrounding properties are all zoned for residential use and mostly contain single-family homes. The commission is recommending approval of the site. They see it as an improvement upon the current condition and the use of the subject property. There was some opposition. We received 2 opposition kind of items in response, but no one actually showed up to the meeting to be in opposition at the public hearing. So that's probably going to be the case at the public hearing on June 4th as well. But just know that there was two letters sent in opposition. If board wanted to move forward with approving, staff would like and would put together hopefully a condition to limit the outdoor storage to essentially none or no outdoor storage on the site as a conditional rezoning. We're here if you have any questions. Again, it's the June 4th Board of Supervisors meeting will be the first reading, and please let us know if you have any questions.
How long has it been vacant?
It's still been only a couple of months where they've kind of, the current contract buyer is still operating out of there, but they are planning to move out.
So if Gio Freddy's wanted to use that as a car repair shop, they could move in tomorrow and do it
That's correct.
with no change to what it looks like, basically.
Correct. I mean, yes,
Other than if you wanted to cite them for any zoning violation.
that's about it, yeah.
Has there been zoning violations on that property?
I don't believe so. I think we've possibly had noise complaints with the race car shop, but I don't believe we've actually had an open zoning case or open enforcement on this property.
Okay.
And it's been quite a while since Carl had the rod shop.
Correct. So that was probably where those noise complaints came from, and it's more of the automotive repair at this point.
Yeah. But if you looked at the full map, I mean, if you went down to 70th, and you don't have it on this map, but if you went down to 70th, you would have at 70th and Northeast 14th Street, you'd have Cerritos, Casey's,
Oh, commercial.
Carney Tap, and then Elwell Business Park.
Correct.
If you went north of Carney Tap, you've got dog hospital or
The vet clinic?
daycare, doggy daycare.
So yeah,
So
that,
there's a lot of commercial within, not very far.
that's the closest commercial node down there that has light industrial district. A piece of us recommending denial is that those properties exist in such a nature that's close to where these guys want to operate there and own rentals in. That is something we stated, as well as, you know, because that's so close, there are properties in the vicinity that could house the use that they want to, and are already zoned or at least hold a business park future land use designation. So that was also another piece we
I've
used.
been told that they are talking to the owner of the vacant piece of property just to the east.
So-
That is on 14th Street.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one here. Is that the one you're talking about?
That's
Yeah.
on the corner.
On the corner, yes.
Yeah, so he's the one that we wanted them to at least incorporate as far as being a part of the rezoning. He didn't want to move forward. There is an existing rental on the property, and he was concerned with, you know, it being rezoned. That becomes a non-conforming use, and you know, if the building were to be destroyed, there's insurance complications with rebuilding and things like that.
And I've,
He was the one in support. He owns this property as well as these three down here. So, you know, it is just one in support response, but he does own quite a few of the surrounding properties. These are all currently residential. He owns them as rentals,
And he supports that?
correct? He just did not want to be a part of the rezoning.
single.
All of these are single family within the unincorporated limits. Within the city of Ankeny, there's planned unit development. That's all the zoning that all these properties are. These are by attached homes on the east side of Northeast 14th Street.
This is the area affectionately known as Carney.
Okay, any other questions for him? Thank you.
Yeah.
Brian, you have something else you want to talk to us about?
I do, and real quick on that, Tommy did a great job. Just to reiterate, we couldn't quite get there. If he could have brought in that property to the east, staff probably could have gotten there with a recommendation for approval. I guess my piece to the board would be, if it's something that you want to move forward with, we would like that condition on there for no outdoor storage, not just for the Geofreddies, but for whatever may move in there down the road. And so if at the public hearing you decide to move forward with approval, you could just direct staff to work with them on that condition, and we could get it drafted up.
And I don't believe they have any objection of.
We've had some conversations,
Having
they
that-
seem open to it, yes.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want outside storage. If it was approved, if the board felt that way, I would definitely not want outside storage.
Yeah,
And I'd want a fence, I'd want landscape, I'd want all of it.
yeah. And we get it, I mean, you saw the pictures, it's not in great shape. If they end up moving forward, you know, they're gonna clean up the property, but we have to kind of look at it through that lens of, we're just rezoning one property, and then what could it be in the future? But I think it's small enough that whatever it would be, if it's the Geofreddies, somebody else in 20 years,
I agree.
with no outdoor storage, I think it does work.
Yeah.
I think you need, go back to them with, here's the conditions that they have to follow.
Correct.
In order for us to even consider it.
Okay. So yes, real quick, last thing I've got for you, the rezoning that we had up in White Oak at last Tuesday's board meeting. Just wanted to circle back on that one since we're here today. I know it was a little bit convoluted. So basically, Supervisor Brownell, I know that kind of the desire of the board was, instead of rezoning this whole subject property, which is outlined here in red, to just rezone this southern portion, which matches the existing comprehensive plan for that area. So I've had some communication with Becky and as well as with Ralph in the last week. So basically, the board took action last Tuesday to continue that public hearing from last Tuesday to next Tuesday, which is May 21st. So you didn't take official action on the ordinance change, but you tabled it. And so staff has now changed the ordinance instead of the whole property to just match the comprehensive plan in this south part of the property. So that will come back before you next Tuesday. You basically reopen the public hearing continuation from 2 weeks ago, and then take action on that ordinance change.
And not amend the comprehensive plan.
Correct. And so you did not take action on that last week.
Right.
And then we won't even include it next week because since it's already comp planned this way, you don't need to amend that anymore.
Well, you'll make Mr. Hawkinsmith happy, I believe.
Supervisor Brownell,
We'll see.
I did reach out to the two neighbors that were here to speak
Right.
because it was a little confusing and just made them aware that that's what's happening, so.
I think their expectation was that what would happen, is that the southern piece would get, match up with the comp plan and
Yep.
just move forward, but, they came and tried to fix the
I
whole
mean,
thing.
it's still gonna have 3 lots, right?
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 maximum.
5 lots. And it still doesn't, yeah, okay, I'm not even gonna go there.
I'm good with it. My question was, I was confused about the water, and then after talking to you and talking to Brett,
Okay,
the 5 lots won't affect the water pressure or anything like that. And
right.
I should have asked that question last
Yeah.
week, or a couple, yeah, but I'm
So wanted to bring that up since that was a little confusing last week, so,
I understood it.
okay.
Well, you really negotiate and such a broker now.
Yeah, maybe that's my next career.
Maybe. Hire him. Consulting.
All right,
Okay, thanks,
thank you.
Brian. All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Are we done here? We're done here. Off to the Senior Fest.